I thought there was probably 4 or 5 overs we should have come off. I don't think we should have even bowled a ball, to be fair, but the umpires are the guys making those decisions out in the middle, and they seem to think it was fit to play, and I disagree with them, but there's not much I can do off the field.
Sorry, one last one. Do you think if the situation was reversed and South Africa had been bowling, do you think there's a greater chance that they'd have come out rather than you guys bowling?
No, I'm not going to answer that one, thanks.
I pass.
So, David, if I can just clarify, would you confirm that you thought that the conditions were unsafe?
Look, I thought the rain had got so heavy at one stage, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was, for most of the afternoon, or most of the evening, night time, it was misty, sort of mizzle and stuff. But it got to the stage where we could actually hear it thumping on the rooftop in the dugout. And that, to me, that's no longer mizzle and drizzle. That's time to get off the field. And the field was wet. It was wet when we started. It was wet when South Africa fielded. So there were difficult conditions for both sides. But it just got more and more wet as we bowled. And, when your keeper's sliding, trying to move down the leg side, standing up to the spinners, it's too wet. I don't think the conditions were right to carry on playing.
In terms of the game itself, winning the toss and deciding to bat when there was a bit of weather around, what was the thinking behind that decision, do you think?
Well, it's our preferred way of playing the game, and we weren't sure exactly what sort of weather we would get, so we were hoping we'd get our batting innings in before any rain arrived. We felt we'd be better off if we had actually got a score on the board and tried to defend it, which is always our preferred way of playing. I mean, it's amazing. We've played 4 games here, and 3 times we wanted to do different things, and we'd lost the toss each time. And today, which we really didn't mind what we did, we ended up winning a toss and had to make a decision. And then the game suddenly gets curtailed before we face the ball. So it's just one of those things. There's lots of learning in a game like this for us. I believe, even though we've, had our status for a long time and we've been in a lot of competitions and a few World Cups, and that this side is starting to mature quite nicely, and there's learning in every game for us. And, we came out for that batting and we weren't calm, we weren't composed. We swiped and swung and we ran badly between the wickets, and it took a couple of youngsters at the end to show the rest of the guys how to remain calm and play well.
So what other learnings do you think you could take from that discard of the farcical situation in the field, but from the bat?
Well, I just think it is that ability to stay calm and play your best shots. I thought watching Quinton play was a real lesson for our guys about how to stay calm and still be able to smack the ball around the place. I thought we thrashed at the ball too much up front and we didn't get anywhere near hitting them. So that's the biggest piece of learning for me today.
Circle back to Daniel, and then we'll go on to our Zoom audience. Thank you.
Hey, just one final question. Could you shed some light on what conversations the umpires and the Zimbabwean players had at that point? Because a couple of times it seemed like you might definitely come off, and there was a bit of a back and forth between the umpires and the bowlers, but then that didn't happen. So do you know what happened there?
Well, I know that Craig and Raza had a word with the umpire and said, basically just asked, what do you constitute as rain? Because we're getting quite wet here. I don't really know much else. I didn't ask them what the actual conversations were, but I think eventually Sean Williams said, just as he was about to start bowling, that he didn't think he could bowl. It's too wet. And they brought us off.
Thank you very much to our audience here at the stadium. We'll move on to Fidos Wunda. You can kick us off.
Thanks. Hi, Dave. Dave, can I just ask you about just the communication perspective? When was there communication? Did you talk to the umpires before the match was reduced, and then at some point in the middle, and then after you went back on? Or is there a sequence of events you can describe for us?
There wasn't a lot of talking from me. I asked the question of the third umpire as to why we had gone back on when it was raining, and he said that was up to the umpires in the middle to make that decision. And other than that, we were just communicated with, how many overs were left and what the target was now and so on. And after the first time we came off, when they reduced it to 7 overs, there was a bit of a delay because no one seemed to know what the target was. But there wasn't a lot of communication between us.
Reminder to our Zoom audience, please, to raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. Would anybody like to have a go? If not, we'll end it there. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Have a good
Thanks. Cheers, guys.
We've got South Africa's coach, Mark Boucher, at the top table. We'll start with Daniel.
Hi, Mark. Dave Houghton just said that he didn't think a ball should have been bowled today. I just wondered what you thought of conditions today.
Well, I thought it was tough conditions. We are here to play a World Cup, and obviously, we wanted to play. It seemed like both captains wanted to play at the start. Having a look at the game before, the field was fairly wet as well. There had been a little bit of rain around. But yeah, bottom line is players don't make those decisions. The officials are there to make those decisions, and that's what happened.
Would you have been happy if South Africa's bowlers had been bowling in those conditions towards the end?
I think we did. I think we bowled the ball that was quite wet as well. So yeah, look, we were in a very good position. So if you walk away from this game, you're going to be thinking, we were hard done by. Whether the game should have taken place or not. If Zimbabwe were in our position, they would want to have carried on playing. We're not there to make the calls. That's what officials do, and officials made the call. We got to live with their decisions.
South Africa and rain sometimes have had a complicated relationship at World Cups. Does it require mental strength to just put this out of your mind and know you have 4 games still to go to make a difference? Yeah,
well, the positive is it's not a do or die game for us. We are still in control of what happens in this World Cup. So yes, we haven't had a good history with rain, but I'd rather have it happen in the first game now, where we are still in control of what we can actually do. It's a tough group, and there's probably one game that is really going to be a game that we're going to have to win. But we'll see. It's still very, very early in the tournament. I'm just happy with the way that our intensity was very good today. So that's a positive I can take out of it. And also Quinny played some special cricket shots, which I think sends a bit of a message as well.
We'll move to Telford.
How's about T20 is a compressed enough format. How do you prepare players, get the thought in their heads that they're going to have to go now and play 9 overs and 7 overs? How do you do that as a coach?
It's not ideal. When you arrive at a day, you sort of prepare for 20 overs in the field and 20 overs of the bats. It's fast moving. You lose overs very quickly. I think we selected a team that we knew that there was some rain around as well, and we try to give our guys the best opportunity if it was a shortened game. We've known that there's been a lot of rain around for the last sort of week now. I think from our side and from the team's perspective, what is disappointing is that before the game even started, we were like, "Are we going to get a game today?" Then we get sort of, 4/5 of the way, and then we have to go off the field. So it's almost like, did we want to play today? We get so close, but then it gets taken away from you. So that is probably the most frustrating part in our dressing room at the moment. But it is what it is. I'd rather, as I said, it happen now than further down the line.
And what do you say to people who are amazed that Reza Hendricks didn't play, for instance? He's done so well. How do you leave him out?
It's tough. And Temba's a guy who's coming in his place. Temba was injured. He did own that spot. He is the captain as well. He hasn't been in great form, but he also, he got sick in India, where we wanted him to have a bit of game time. I think these conditions suit his game a lot better as well. So hopefully he can get some good time. Today he was out in the middle there for quite some time, but didn't face too many balls. So he's been batting really well in the nets, if I can say that. So. hopefully he finds some good form. As I said, I think these conditions suit him nicely. So it's tough. Not only on him, there's other players in the 15 that are sitting on the side of the field now. I think that's the strength of our unit at the moment. We've got some good depth and we've got some good options. We decided to go with the extra seamer today, which is quite harsh on Shema, but I think it was the right decision, especially with the rain around and Lungi picking up 2 wickets in the first 2 overs. The way Anna bowled, the way KG bowled, that they all sort of and Wayne Parnell, that all warranted their selection as well. So we've got some good options going forward. If guys maybe get injured or lose a bit of form, we've got guys to back them up.
Last question from the floor.
With the way Quinny came out and had success with the strokes that he was playing and they were all coming off pretty much, is it a case of, look, obviously the rain was there and you knew it, that's why you needed to be aggressive, but there wasn't a lot more you could do to get those runs any quicker?
No, there's not much we could do. I mean, Quinny, he's one of the most dangerous batters in the world when he plays like that. So it's nice from a coaching perspective to see him going out there and playing with that freedom. That is good. But I think we maximised what we could, to be fairly honest. I mean, I don't even know how many overs we bowled, but we've got 15, I think 3 overs. That's pretty much going. And so there's no sort of regrets in our dressing room. We did what we could today. Unfortunately, we just didn't get, I'd call it maybe another 10 balls to finish the job off.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. We'll move on to the Zoom. A reminder to please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We'll start with Zahir Adams and then we'll move to Sahadat from BD News.
How's Mark? Was there any thought in perhaps changing Quinny's batting partner for the night?
Sorry?
Was there any? Yeah.
No, up front, you're talking about just getting another hitter in?
Yeah, for the short.
There might have been a thought there, but I think it's a decision where you can't play for rain. We thought that we were going to have 9 overs, and I felt that it was actually a good opportunity for Tim to really just go and express himself and lead from the front. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, Quinny faced most of the deliveries in any case. I think Tim faced 2 balls, so Quinny maximised, which is good to see. No, it's a tough one. We want to keep giving Temba opportunity to get some sort of rhythm in his batting. And if the thought was there, it was almost like maybe, and let's just go with what we got at the moment.
Sahadat?
Coach, this match got washed out, really disappointed for you, no doubt. Your next game against Bangladesh, what's your thought about them? What's your thought on that game? Today, Bangladesh started their journey with a win against Netherlands. So what's your thought about them on the next game?
I think every game that you play, you got to try and win. We watched a bit of the Bangladesh game today, and that they got to go good starts. They stumbled a bit in the middle. I think their bowling was really good as well. So, yeah, I mean, we got to win all our games now, and it's World Cup's a cutthroat, and we're going to a different venue now. Hopefully, the rain stays away, and we can get some good cricket in and showcase our skills. T20 cricket on a day, you can have one or 2 guys come off, and that can be a win for you. We believe that we've got some good quality bowlers and some good quality batters to be able to give us quite a few different chances of coming off. So I'm sure Bangladesh probably feel the same thing as well. For now, it's just packing up, getting over to the next venue and working out what sort of strategy and what team we're going to put up to try and get a win over Bangladesh.
Amir Chetty, you'll close us off. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mark. Tough luck for that, the way it finished there. We obviously move on to Sydney next to face Bangladesh. What are you expecting just in terms of conditions, and also with the positive intent that Quinny showed up top there? Is that what you would be expecting from that top order for the rest of the competition? Obviously, situations would change game by game.
Yeah, so we watched as coaches. We watched the game last night. There's a thrill of a game between India and Pakistan. So we got a good idea of what the venue is going to be like. A lot of our guys have played at Sydney before as well. So we sort of know what conditions we're going to get there. We know the boundary sizes as well. We've prepared for that accordingly. Quinny, in a competition like this, sometimes guys can tend to tense up a bit. So it's very good to see Quinny sees a moment where you actually went out and you just played the sort of free flowing game that we know that Quinton de Kock is if he comes off is very dangerous with. So happy for him to get a start like that, and hopefully he can continue with that confidence and that freedom, because that's when I think we get the best out of him. So good start for us. Unfortunately, not the result we wanted this evening, but there's a lot of good things that came off tonight as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
everyone.